You heard it here first. Your family groomed, or should I say primed, or should I say programmed you first to deal with and be in toxic, abusive, dysfunctional relationships. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Self Love is Currency, where we talk about many things pertaining to self love, spirituality. Why did I say it like that? And healing, childhood trauma, and healing in general, because we understand that if we don't heal the childhood wounds, that can manifest into things in adulthood that we have to heal and work on. Hence, why I am creating this video today and also speaking about this today. Because your girl, my life has been in shambles on an emotional level. And I'm only saying this because God has proven him, herself to always work things out. Every time I've had any type of horrendous life change, and as you join this family and as I open up more and post videos here, you will learn a little bit more about my very shall I say entertaining but dysfunctional, taboo upbringing in life. But God has always came through for your girl, and that is why me and spirituality go together real bad. Because I have stories upon stories of the miraculous workings in my life when I thought my life was going to shits. God came through. God pulled up on me and was like, get in the car. Get in the car. We're going to get your life together like stat. But anyways, I don't know what level this is of life learning, evolving, elevating, growing, and pruning. Um, but I guess I will deem this my first episode of the Heal to Reveal series, where the more we heal, the more we reveal layers of ourselves. The more we heal, the more our true self is revealed. The more we heal, the more we get the opportunity to connect with other like minded people that are on the same wavelength or vibrational level that we are. The more we heal, the more we get the opportunity to grow and evolve to, you know, be level with our higher self and embody our higher self. And just overall have a good ass life, because I'll be damned if I let the things that happened to me growing up, um, and that has later led to other shit happening, hold me back, keep me from experiencing heaven on earth, because it's for everybody to experience. But let's get back into it. As I stated before, your family groomed, primed, programmed you for toxic relationships, to be in toxic, abusive, dysfunctional relationships. And this is a disclaimer. We're going to keep it real. Um, I don't know what the stipulations are on channels getting monetized for sensitive subject matters, or even cursing. So if someone could so kindly drop some info below, I will be doing my own research. But I only said that to say I want to be as candid and as vulnerable as possible. I know in this current era of my life, like I said, it's a lot going on personally. Um, However, I feel like in order to be real, transparent, authentic. I want things to come through on a level where you could feel it on a soul level. I'm not just on here for the sake of being on here. No. However, I do have aspirations to get monetized, to grow my channel, to grow a community of people who are also dedicated to some of the same things that I am dedicated to, that being to heal, to love on myself. So, yeah. Um, but I realized that some of the things that I discuss, you know, may be a little risque, if you know what I mean. But yes, some of the first relationships that we have are with our family, our mother, father, or lack thereof. I was laying in the bed the other night and I've thought about this a few times. I'm very analytical, and I think that it has helped to some degree in my healing journey. Just work through some very dark and very heavy, very traumatic things that have happened. Um, so just a little bit about myself because this actually was in the paper of my news town. But the man that I look to as my dad, my father, who I call daddy, was actually not. I found that out when I was 18. Not only that, he was also a pedophile. Not only that, he was also a pastor, a well known preacher in my hometown when I was 18. Before heading off to college, I didn't want to leave my younger siblings behind for them to fend for themselves. So I went to the police. This was in 2008. So it's been, damn, 17 years um, since that happened. But that was the first man in my life. That was the first relationship with a man. And even though I did my big one, God was really working through me. My ancestors, spirit guides, angel guides, shout out to y'all because that was such a huge, grave decision of courage that I made at the ripe age of 18. And I knew that I would change my life forever. I knew that in my soul, heart of hearts, that it was the right thing to do. But did I know that I will go on to experience other traumas, other hardships, other shit, betrayals, other letdowns, other shit? And me thinking that, oh, me being um essayed from the ages of 3 to about 16 or 17 was the worst thing that could happen. You know, me being left with a predator, because even though I thought that, like I said, that was my father and he wasn't, um, like my mom, biological mom, was out of the picture. So it was just him. And then whenever he did go on to meet my stepmother at the time. But I thought that that was the worst thing, you know, um, the shame, the guilt, feelings that you go through. Any other survivors out there, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Just feeling weird as fuck all the time. Like, I thought that that was the worst thing, to feel alienated, like the ultimate black sheep. But then I got older and different things started to manifest. And I did take notes here, so I do want to stay on task because I don't know how long. Oh, we at 9 minutes and 12 seconds. So let me just skip to the first point that I wrote down. This is for you. If you are a serial toxic relationship survivor slash thriver, and I said survivor slash thriver because even as survivors of childhood abuse or childhood SA, um, that could even get a bad rep. Because to society, it's like it's not enough to survive. You got to be out here thriving. And let me tell you, healing childhood essay, um, and also adult manifestations like substance abuse, or addictions, that is no easy feat. So on top of that, you want me to um try to make something of myself as well, which I have, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard out here. But this is for you. Um, if you have had the opportunity to leave, kudos to you. To leave whatever toxic relationship dynamic, abusive, dysfunctional relationship dynamic as an adult, kudos to you. Even if you are still in these situations and have the desire to be out, kudos to you, because this is a part of your escape or exit strategy. You need to notice the patterns, and I will follow up on this. Notice the patterns that you are currently seeing and experiencing in your everyday life. And if your memory is still intact to some degree, you need to try to recall what that looked like in your relationship dynamics that were modeled to you growing up. I will also revisit that point. Point number two is accept your role and your responsibility, the part that you had to play. I know you're like, damn, I didn't ask for all of this to happen. Like, I was just trying to love on somebody and be love. Love, I get it. I get it. I see you, I hear you. Same for me. However, if you want to break out of this matrix, this generational curse or cycle, if you want to rig the system, if you will, accept your role. We are no longer lounging in the denial river like a lazy pool. Like, no. This is how you shock. This is how you shock the narcissistic characters in your story, by accepting your role, because there's there's something in you that knows that you deserve better. And as I stated, I can literally do several story times of different things that I've experienced, abuse related. I saw that a lot growing up. Domestic violence, essay, that was my normal. However, don't know if it was the God in me, um, the ancestors, I don't know. A part in me, though, sorry for the knee slap, I just really felt that part. It was a part of me that really felt like, yo, you deserve better than this. Even as a kid, I felt that that wasn't going to be the end of my story. But as we flash forward into adulthood, dealing with abusive and toxic relationships, I still thought the same thing. And maybe holding on to those small glimmers of hope actually gave me the courage to walk away several times. And I wrote down this point: just because you attract a person, place, or thing doesn't mean you have to keep it. My issue was okay, I attract this person. I think that I have to keep them. And that's not the case. I've thought that I've had to keep people even after they've hurt me. I thought that I had to let people remain in my life even after them betraying me and treating me bad. But as I stop and think about it, that was modeled to me growing up. So that's why you have to look at the patterns. As much as we don't like to look at our past, especially if we didn't have favorable, normal, or exciting childhoods, That is the um and I just had the word. I just had the word. Basically, that's where you need to be looking at. That's that's the magic sauce that you're missing right now, even though you're like, ain't nobody trying to revisit the past. And this is why I am so big on healing childhood trauma and also going to therapy. As much as it sucks, the more times that you do things that you don't want to do, the more times you show up for yourself, you do a deep dive and allow yourself to be submerged in your own experiences. The more victorious, the more courageous you come out. And I realized myself, and this is speaking from somebody, I'm 35 now. I've been in therapy since I was 18. So since I left my childhood home and um the person who posed as my dad, who also essayed me throughout my entire childhood, went to prison. I've been in therapy this whole time. I've been dedicated to personal development, self development, healing, all of that. But I had to ask myself, like, how deep did I really go? You know, you need to do a character analysis. And this actually came to me. I know it was a spiritual download. I got it while I was at work. But I was just hearing, like, you need to look at your parents. You need to write down whoever raised you, like you're doing a character analysis. What were their character traits? What were their personalities? Good and bad. If you lived in a single parent household, you need to do that. If they had boyfriends or girlfriends, you need to write down the character traits of those people. If it was a marriage dynamic, you need to write down the character traits of all of that. If they got into a fight, if they fought, write down how all of that went. How did they handle conflict? Did they have anger issues? Were they passive and didn't necessarily speak up or defend themselves? Was there substance abuse issues? So, as for me, there was a lot of alcohol abuse, lots of it. Um, I even remember making drinks, you know, as young as like 10 or 11. But that's how they coped with their own traumas. It's imperative to look at all of this stuff because then you can apply it and compare it to your current situation. And what's crazy is you may find yourself thinking about all the similarities, like the ultimate mind fuck. But it's a good realization to have because once you realize that your life is literally a stage in a play, you are the main character. You get to change the outcome. You get to move around the characters. You get to add characters. You get to go on this character development journey, which is you. And I guess that's the optimistic viewpoint in this whole video. And I often laugh to myself like, yo, Tyler Perry need to get a hold of my story. But with recent um critiques of the latest movie, I've been hearing a lot that he just perpetuates toxicity within the Black community and doesn't really offer solutions. So I'm like, I don't know if I, you know, um, would keep entertaining that thought. So this is not one of those videos. I do want to offer, if I haven't, already, solutions to real life problems, because if you've grown up in a very abusive childhood, it's easy for you to manifest toxic, abusive, dysfunctional relationships in adulthood, because that's how you were groomed, that's how you were programmed. But if you notice the patterns, accept your role, do a deep dive, and actually do character analysis on the key players in your story, and actually look at it, read it like it's your book, your story, because it is. It will help you connect the dots. And if, speaking to a friend about it, going to therapy, or starting a therapy journey, journaling, because there has to be some type of corrective action in order for you to get out of said cycle. And I can't stress this enough. Just because you attract doesn't mean you have to keep. You are under no obligation to stay, keep, or try to grow something that is already dead. And that's been my problem. I couldn't just walk away from a parent or a family member. I had to put up with abuse, toxicity, and dysfunction. Like I had no choice. And once you do that year after year, especially during developmental years when you're in childhood, that's what you understand as being normal, but it's not normal. I don't care if this person is fine as hell, got all the money in the bank, and you attracted them. That doesn't mean you have to keep them. That doesn't mean you have to stay in a situation that is detriment to you and doesn't help you grow at all. If you are still tuned into this message, thank you all so much. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video so that it can get out. Go ahead and share it. Go ahead and comment below. And go ahead and subscribe for more. Drop your comments down below to let me know if you can resonate with anything in this video. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.